Best smartphones. Looking for the best smartphone to buy in 2026? In this video, we're checking out some of the top smartphones worth considering, from powerful performance and impressive cameras to smooth displays, long-lasting batteries, and useful smart features. Whether you're into gaming, photography, productivity, or everyday use, there's an option here for different needs and budgets. So, let's jump in and see which smartphone stands out the most. Number 5. Motorola Edge Plus. Color: Stardust White. Weight: 7G. Category: Smartphone. The Motorola Edge Plus is an older flagship-style phone that still brings some impressive hardware to the table. You get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor, 8GB of RAM, and a huge 512GB of storage, so there's plenty of room for apps, photos, and videos. The 6-inch OLED display has a sharp 2400 by 1080 resolution and a smooth 120Hz refresh rate. That should make scrolling and everyday navigation feel responsive. For photography, Motorola includes a 50MP rear camera system along with a high-resolution 60MP front camera. The phone also supports 4K video recording. Its 4800 mAh battery supports fast charging and wireless charging, while 5G, NFC, GPS, and USB-C add useful connectivity options. The biggest consideration is its age. This model launched with Android 12 and uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, so it isn't comparable to today's newest flagship phones. Pros: 512GB storage with 8GB RAM. 120Hz OLED display. 5G, wireless charging, and NFC. Cons: older Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 platform. Ships with Android 12. Listed weight specification may be inaccurate. Specs and configurations. Processor: Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. RAM: 8GB. Storage: 512GB. Display: 6-inch OLED, 2400 by 1080, 120Hz. Rear camera: 50MP, triple camera system. Front camera: 60MP. Battery: 4800 mAh. Video: up to 4K. Connectivity: 5G, 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC. Charging: fast charging and wireless charging. OS: Android 12.0. SIM: single nano SIM. Number 4. Samsung Galaxy S26. Color: white. Category: smartphone. The Samsung Galaxy S26 is designed for people who want a compact flagship experience without giving up modern features. This 2026 model comes with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, giving you plenty of space for everyday apps, photos, and videos. The 6.3-inch AMOLED display runs at 120Hz, which should make scrolling, animations, and general navigation feel smooth. Samsung also brings Galaxy AI features to the phone, adding smart tools designed to make everyday tasks more convenient. For photography, you get a triple rear camera setup with 50MP, 12MP, and 10MP sensors, plus a 12MP front camera. The phone also supports 5G and includes NFC, Bluetooth, GPS, fast charging, wireless charging, and reverse wireless charging. The 4300 mAh battery should suit typical daily use, although actual battery life depends on how you use the phone. Pros: 12GB RAM with 256GB storage. 120Hz AMOLED display. Galaxy AI and wireless charging. Cons: 4300 mAh battery is not especially large. No dedicated headphone jack. Single SIM configuration. Specs and configurations. Processor: not officially specified. RAM: 12GB. Storage: 256GB. Display: 6.3-inch AMOLED, 120Hz. Rear cameras: 50MP plus 12MP plus 10MP. Front camera: 12MP. Battery: 4300 mAh. OS: Android 16 with One UI 8.5. Connectivity: 5G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, USB-C. Charging: fast charging, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. Security: fingerprint recognition. Carrier: Unlocked for all carriers. Warranty: 1-year manufacturer warranty. Overall, the Galaxy S26 looks like a strong choice for someone who wants a smaller premium phone with a smooth display, generous memory, modern connectivity, and Samsung's latest AI features. Number 3. I25 Ultra. Color: gold. Category: smartphone. If battery life and storage are high on your list, the I25 Ultra is definitely an interesting phone to look at. It comes with a massive 7,000 mAh battery and an impressive 1 TB of internal storage, which gives you plenty of space for apps, photos, videos, and files. The phone features a large 6.8-inch OLED display with a 1440 by 3040 resolution. It also includes a built-in pen, making it useful for taking notes or interacting with the screen in a more hands-on way. Under the hood, you get 12 GB of RAM and a Snapdragon 888 Plus processor. The camera setup includes a listed 108MP rear camera and a 48MP front camera. For connectivity, it supports 5G, NFC, and dual SIM functionality. One thing to keep in mind is that some specifications are not fully detailed, including the display refresh rate and charging speed. So, those are worth confirming before buying. Pros: huge 7,000 mAh battery. 1 TB internal storage with 12 GB RAM. Built-in pen and NFC support. Cons: processor is an older Snapdragon 888 Plus. Display refresh rate is not specified. Brand and long-term software support may be less established. Specs and configurations. Processor: Snapdragon 888 Plus. RAM: 12 GB. Storage: 1 TB. Display: 6.8-inch OLED, 1440 by 3040. Rear camera: 108MP. Front camera: 48MP. Battery: 7,000 mAh. Operating system: Android 14. Network: 5G. SIM: dual SIM. Security: fingerprint recognition and Face ID listed. Connectivity: 5G, NFC, USB-C. Included: pen, earphones, phone case, screen protector, power adapter. Warranty: 1 year. Overall, the i25 Ultra stands out mainly for its enormous battery, huge storage capacity, and included pen. It could be worth considering if those features matter more to you than having the latest processor or a well-established smartphone brand. Number 2. Nawfait 16 PM. Color: Cyan Plus. Category: smartphone. The Nawfait 16 Pro Max is built around some surprisingly large numbers, especially if you want plenty of storage and battery life without carrying a separate power bank. It comes with 12 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage, giving you lots of room for apps, games, photos, and videos. The 6.99-inch OLED display offers a 3040 by 1440 resolution, making this a particularly large phone for watching content and playing games. Inside, there's a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, while the 7,000 mAh battery is one of the standout features on paper. For photography, the listed setup includes a 108MP rear camera and a 68MP front camera. It can also record 4K video at 30 frames per second. You get 5G connectivity, dual SIM support, fingerprint recognition, and face recognition. One limitation is that the phone is listed as not water resistant. Also, some details such as the display refresh rate aren't officially specified. Pros: large 7,000 mAh battery. 512 GB storage with 12 GB RAM. High-resolution OLED display. Cons: not water resistant. Display refresh rate not specified. Manufacturer and long-term software support may be less established. Specs and configurations. Processor: Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. RAM: 12 GB. Storage: 512 GB. Display: 6.99-inch OLED, 3040 by 1440. Rear camera: 108MP. Front camera: 68MP. Video: up to 4K at 30 frames per second. Battery: 7,000 mAh. OS: Android 14. Network: 5G per 4G. SIM: dual nano SIM. Security: fingerprint and face recognition. Connectivity: 5G, Wi-Fi, USB-C. Water resistance. Not water resistant. Warranty, 1 year. Overall, the Nawfait 16 Pro Max focuses on a big screen, large battery, generous storage, and strong-looking specifications. It's an interesting option for someone who prioritizes those features, but buyers should verify the manufacturer's support and specific hardware details before making a decision. Number 1. JQAKP I25 Ultra. Color, purple. Category, smartphone. The JQAKP I25 Ultra takes a straightforward approach, give you a large screen, plenty of memory, and a seriously big battery. With 16 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage, there's a lot of room for apps, games, photos, and other files. Its 6.99-inch OLED display has a 1920 by 1080 resolution and a 120 Hz refresh rate. That combination should make scrolling and everyday navigation feel smooth, while the large panel can be useful for gaming and watching videos. Powering the phone is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, paired with a 7000 mAh battery. The listed camera setup includes a 108MP rear camera system, and the phone is advertised with 8K video recording at up to 120 frames per second. You also get 5G and 4G connectivity, USB-C, and a single nano SIM slot. On the downside, the phone is not listed as water resistant, and some camera details aren't officially specified. Pros: 16 GB RAM and 512 GB storage. Large 7000 mAh battery. 120 Hz OLED display. Cons: not water resistant. Front camera specifications not officially specified. Long-term software support is not specified. Specs and configurations. Processor: Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. RAM: 16 GB. Storage: 512 GB. Display: 6.99-inch OLED, 1920 by 1080, 120 Hz. Rear camera: 108MP, dual camera setup. Video: listed up to 8K at 120 frames per second. Battery: 7000 mAh. OS: Android 14. Network: 5G per 4G. SIM: single nano SIM. Connectivity: 5G per 4G, USB-C. Water resistance: not water resistant. Warranty: 1 year. Overall, the JQAKP I25 Ultra is centered around high memory, a large display, and a huge battery. It could be appealing for gaming, entertainment, and everyday multitasking, but buyers should verify the less detailed specifications and software support before purchasing.